Welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. I am your host, WIZE, and I'm very excited. My next guest is a renowned trainer, online coach, a professional health coach. She has the plans of becoming. She has an amazing story. Let's bring her on the show. Welcome to the show, Angela Beyer.
Hello.
Thank you for being a guest.
Oh, thank you for having me. And by the way, your intro is really nice.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, so let's just jump right into this.
Mhm.
Can you share your journey from sports enthusiast to professional health coach and bodybuilder?
Yeah. Very different story than what people think or assume. I was a banker. I have a finance degree and I was in banking. And what happened was, I was living a life not authentically. I was stuck in a life where I wanted to, how can I say, be the perfect person, successful in business, having the perfect relationship, having a certain look, presenting, and always a smile on my face, doing all I could. And inside, I was crumbling and I was not in control of anything, even though it looked like it. And I was struggling. And the only thing I had under control was my food. So I was very restrictive with my food, got into major health issues. I overexercised. I wasn't really knowing what I was doing. And at one point, the health issues got so big that I had to do something. So I started educating myself in nutrition, became a nutritionist, just for me, just to learn how to do the diet right. And I kept working out. I got more into strength training, became really good at it. But nonetheless, to say, if you're not truthful to yourself and not authentic and not doing what you're supposed to do, you hit a wall after wall after wall, or there's always something what holds you back. And that was, in my case, again, the relationship, the job, the whole environment. So I put a hard stop on it. I quit my job, broke up with my boyfriend, and I went to the United States to learn English. I came with 2 suitcases and a student visa. And I went to school, the course English as a second language for 3 months. That's what I did. And I fell in love with the United States. I really wanted to stay. So by the end of my English course, I drove down the street and I saw a bank, and I just walked in and I said, I don't know, do you need an intern? I would like to work here. And I ran literally into the arms of the president of the bank, and he said, well, you have guts. Okay, I'll hire you. So he hired me as an intern and had a visa for 18 months. And again, I wasn't banking. I was doing what I was not supposed to do. It's funny how you try. And to be honest with you, it was something familiar to me. So I went to banking and I had my internship, made no money, of course. And I remembered a conversation with my immigration lawyer. How can I get a work visa? And she said to me, it's impossible to get a work visa as a banker because there's so many bankers in the United States. You need some special skills. And I said to her, I don't have any special skills in banking, but I can lift things up and put them down really well. I'm good in bodybuilding. And she's like, okay, if you can get a world champion title for the United States, you can get a green card. I'm like, wow, that's a stretch. But I'm like, okay. I had nothing to lose. So what can I do? I just prep for my first show and see how it goes. And I work my way up and see how far I can get. So I got my old journals out. I went back to the gym. I was not in shape at that time. I was more focused on surviving and establishing and I didn't, to be honest with you, really care. I just was in a healing and hiding state, so to speak. And now, well, I cleaned up my diet, got really serious about the workouts, had like tunnel vision, nothing else. Like I worked, I trained, eat, sleep, repeat. Like this was every day. And I prepped for the Miss Florida show. I won Miss Florida, got qualified for Team USA. That was in natural bodybuilding, and I started in the Miss Physique class. So this is there is bikini, figure, physique, and then bodybuilding. So I was in a little bit of the bigger classes, not a bikini girl. So anyway, I did the Miss USA, which was in Los Angeles, was a bigger show, and I won Miss USA, and I got qualified for Miss Universe. So, oh my gosh, it was such a wonderful journey, and I was in the flow, and everything went well. You know, when diet and exercise and everything goes, and it's like no problem, no injury, no nothing. Everything just flows, and that's what was in like my happiest place. So anyway, I prepped for Miss Universe, which was huge. And imagine I was by myself. I didn't have like a team or coach or anything by my side. So uh, all I wanted at that point was getting to the finals because I had like a special made bikini for the finals. So in the morning is prejudging where we all wear a black bikini and we get compared, and that's where they actually, I think, figure out the placing. And then in the evening, it's more the posing routine with music where you entertain the audience, and it's more a show. It's fun. I mean, of course, it counts too, but um, yeah, it's just a goal I had in mind. I wanted to wear that bikini because it was an American flag bikini, and that's all I wanted. So finals came. I was in the finals, and I remember when they counted down and announced fifth place winner, fourth place winner, third place winner. I'm still standing on stage, like, oh my gosh, this can't be like top three. They announced the third, second place, and you can actually see in the video how I checked my number. Like, oh my gosh, I just won Miss Universe. Couldn't believe it. So yeah, I won Miss Universe, and I got the green card, and oh, it was such a moment. And from there on, of course, I finished my banking career, and I became first a personal trainer, then a health coach, and constantly educate myself in different areas, always to be like on top of things. But yeah, I built my own business, and I coach now clients.
Awesome. So what challenges did you face that impacted your health and fitness journey?
What challenges? Well, when I started out, I said like I didn't have a clue how the body worked, and I made a lot of mistakes. And talking about dieting and yo-yo dieting, I think I'm the best example of it. I went in my lifetime, the highest weight I ever had was 180 pounds. The lowest I ever weighed was 109 pounds in my adult life. So just imagine what my body went through. And at the end, I had parts in my life where I had like serious sugar addictions, where I went to the store and bought everything sweet I could find and ate it. And I was constantly like occupied with food thoughts and not knowing what was going on. And then on the other hand, I restricted my eating so much that I refused to eat at all. And it was very cruel. And I felt lonely and depressed. And again, my body wasn't working. I couldn't even think straight. So there were some major struggles. And to be honest with you, the weight training, the resistance training always brought me back. And that was like one anchor where I said that helped me the most to recover. And after I learned everything about food, I think you're always in that, like you really have to change your mindset around food to
Who do you want to
heal.
message?
Did you hear
To
that?
who?
That's from you. My phone is off. I mean,
That is bizarre. I don't know what that is. Yeah, but
um,
mhm.
you answered the question I had next, which was how do you overcome the eating disorder and what role, but training and fitness that help you overcome all that.
Yes, the focus on building a body, sculpting it. What do I need to do to look a certain way and to find food freedom? So it was self-discovery, so to speak. Like I had to learn who I was, my authentic self, and
Yeah.
not always wanting to fit in. Yeah.
So what can you describe that moment you fell in love with bodybuilding?
hmm Um, to be honest with you, it was watching an Arnold movie. And I thought like, wow, this is amazing how somebody can transform and build a body like this. And I watched like all those, superhero movies. And I mean, female, male, I was always impressed by the physiques. And when you get into bodybuilding and you see how much work it is and how much you have to put in to actually create a body like that, you get a lot of respect for all those athletes and people who are in that shape. And you learn a lot about being consistent, having a routine, having structure. Yeah.
Yeah. And that because I remember watching Pumping Iron with Schwarzenegger and then just his evolution from bodybuilding into acting and how that that work and dedication that he put into bodybuilding and everything, he took it with him into acting.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why he was such a successful action hero because he took that same work ethic that he had as a bodybuilder and applied it into the trade. He applied it into his acting. And that's why he was one of the biggest stars in the 80s and 90s with his movies.
Right. Yeah. There is a certain how can I say, you have to be a certain person, and the good thing is what I just said, the discipline and the mindset you can actually learn. It's
Hmm.
not that you're born that way and okay, this is a lucky person who has the discipline and just does it. It's not that way. It's by repeating those things and being consistent and not giving up, the not giving up attitude, and having goals and reaching them. And that is something, it's interesting too. The more you practice it, the stronger you get, not only in your body, also in your mind.
So how do you view bodybuilding as an art form?
Oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful art which is out there. I can't paint, I can't do anything with clay, but I can sculpture bodies, and I love this so much. And I started first with my own body. Now I help others either to compete or get in the right size body, changing body compositions. And the only thing you have to have in that kind of art is patience. You gotta have patience. It's not quick. And everybody wants quick results, and that's not gonna happen. If you want maintainable results and do it in a healthy way, you have to have some patience.
So you spoke about your bodybuilding competition and winning Miss Universe and everything, and that changed your life because it got you the green card. Um, that's an amazing story. It is so. Do you use your story to inspire your clients? Like you tell them, like, listen, I came from. This is where I started. This is how I got to where I'm at.
Oh, very good question. Sometimes, depending on the client, but usually, um, I don't have to pull out the Miss Universe story to get them going, but
Yeah.
once in a while I do. Yeah.
So can you share some strategies for women looking to build muscle and maintain a healthy lifestyle?
hmm yeah. So to be honest, like why? I think a very important question is why. If you know why you're doing something, you do it with way more intensity, and you're more goal oriented and you have more passion behind it. So why is it so important for women to build muscle? Well, the muscle is the organ of longevity. The muscle determines um, how your metabolism works, how your bone density is, how your endocrine system works, so your hormones, brain function, cognitive function. There is so much intertwined with the muscle cell and the muscle tissue that it's actually a non negotiable for women to ignore that part. What happens is we start losing muscle in our 30s, and it's 1%, roughly 1% per year. So we are not feeling it at the beginning, but in our 50s and 60s, it hits us. And there are certain things all of a sudden we can't do anymore, or all of a sudden we have a weight gain and we say, oh, it's menopause or whatever. It's the muscle loss. Now,
Mhm.
the muscle, this is the important thing, is your body armor, and it's a glucose it's the glucose disposal. So whatever carbs you're eating, if you have healthy muscle tissue, it can use the glucose, and that's such an important key. Because if you, and unfortunately in the United States we tend to overeat, if you have too many carbs and not healthy muscle, what happens is the glucose comes in into the bloodstream. We have blood sugar, which gets the signal to the pancreas to create insulin. Insulin comes in, it's a hormone which works like a key to open up the cell and get the blood sugar into the cell. But if it's a broken cell and the key doesn't work, the sugar can't go anywhere and it keeps floating around in your bloodstream. It goes back to the liver, spills over in the liver, and then we have visceral fat. This is a big problem where it causes a lot of health issues. So it's not only the aesthetic, it's more the health part of it. We talk always about we want to live a long life, a long life. I say I want to live a long and healthy life. So there is a difference between lifespan and health span. And unfortunately, right now in the United States, the average lifespan is 79 years. The average health span, wrap your mind around this, is 63. This is a huge gap between health and lifespan, meaning at the end of your life, you have compromised health and you cannot enjoy life as you did when you were younger. So you cannot travel, you cannot even get your groceries. You're dependent on somebody. You can't play with your grandkids. Like there's so many life quality things what are taken away just because you haven't taken care of your muscle health. So
Okay.
it's an important thing.
I got a question from an audience member. Shout out to Corrado. He wants to know how long did it take to reach this point of your body sculpture?
Oh, how long I worked out. Okay. To be honest with you, I started working out or lifting weights seriously when I was 20, but I competed when I was 30. So I had like a 10-year working out experience, but
Yeah.
to get serious for a competition, like the competition preparation, it took me 12 weeks to get on stage.
So when you compete, it takes you about 12 weeks to get to that body that you want for the competition.
Yeah, 12 weeks. It took me 12
Okay.
weeks. Yeah.
He says, "Wow, thank you for that answer."
Welcome. It's always to be honest with you, everybody is different. Everybody has a different body composition. Depends how much body fat you have. It depends how you respond to the diet and the exercise. It can take longer. It can be faster. And it's also like I try to stay very lean during the year. So if I would like to compete, I really don't need a long prep, and it's not as harsh on the body as if you start from a higher number. Yeah.
So, what inspired you to find House of Shape, and what services do you offer with House of Shape?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, House of Shape is basically, I named it that way because I wanted to have a house where every shape is welcome and I get everybody in shape. And it's personal training and health coaching, mostly online. I have a community where I answer questions. So you can meet me once a week and I can get you like taken care of whatever questions you have. And yeah, it's fun. It's a very supportive community, and we get going.
Awesome. Um, can so how do you prepare your clients for major life events like weddings and surgeries? Like I know there's some people that come to you because they have certain things that are coming up. How do you prepare them mentally, physically?
Yeah, very good question. So one of my specialties or fun things to do is getting women ready for their dress. So if they have a wedding upcoming or an anniversary, birthday, whatever it is, they pick their dress and they show me where they want to fit in, and I get them the workout plan and the diet for that dress. So it's customized how they want to look like in that dress. And what I do is, like I said, depending on what the look is, they get a specific workout plan. I put it together. It's usually 12 weeks. And they get a diet plan, which, if we talk about somebody who wants to get ready for a specific event, the diet, I dial it up a notch. It's a very tight diet, but we want to do it for this specific day.
Well, okay.
And then we have afterwards a diet where you can go into a maintenance diet without a yo-yo effect. And then if you have like a surgery coming up, I do, for example, knee replacement, hip replacements, or believe it or not, tummy tucks. What I do is I train with them the rehab exercises they're going to do after the surgery. So they know the exercises, they have a muscle memory. We get strength training in, so they have as much muscle quality as possible before the surgery. Because if you are bed bound for a week, you lose between 3 and 5 pounds of muscle tissue, which is detrimental. Huge amount. And you have to, it takes for some people up to a year to rebuild that. So I want them to be as strong as possible for the surgery. I want them to know the exercises they need to do afterwards. And so that the neural pathways are already established. They have muscle memory. They know what to do. And of course, we clean up the diet. Of course, the other thing is too, I always focus with everybody though on a high protein diet, but especially for surgery, I make sure that it's the right amount. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So how do you approach training high level executives, athletes, and entrepreneurs? Do you approach them the same way you would approach an average client, or are these people that you see that you might have to tone it up a little bit more for them?
Very good question. My clients, it depends on their lifestyle. If it's a high level CEO or something, and the time frame is different, I have to be a little bit more flexible. And usually they want a little bit of an intense workout. Their just their whole attitude is differently, and I can always dial it up or down. I'm For me, it's very important to have to have individuality. It has to be customized for that person. And if I have like a one-on-one training, it's all about my client in that moment. So yeah, everybody's different. And for example, if somebody is burned out and really tired and they don't want to work out, but they know they need to show up, we will do something. It won't be a high intense workout,
Yeah.
but get some movement in. So yeah, it depends on the day. I have to be more flexible and open to switch my workout plan around according to the person. Yeah.
So yeah, that leads me to my next question. Because prior to doing this interview, you like you said you ran from the gym to where you're at now. How do you balance your roles as a mom, as an executive, and then as a fitness coach? How do you balance all those titles?
Okay. If I think balance, that's a very good question, because balance is a hard thing for me. I don't think I'm very good at balancing things. I just do. And
Okay.
finding balance is, I don't think that exists. But I'm very, very structured. I have a tight ship, and I stick to my commitments. And yeah, everything is prepared and planned out. For example, my meals, I always prep my meals on Sundays. And so I have no surprises, and it's very easy during the week because it's already there. And I don't have to worry about my food, for example.
So is it the same preparation every week? Like, is it the same meals every single day? Like, or do you switch it up for?
Gosh, yeah, no, this is always something different. Oh, this is a very, yes, it sounds like it would be always the same. Yeah. No, no, no. I just, I love diversity and different foods. And what I do is I eat seasonal. So whatever is in seasons, that's the vegetable I have. I like to, yeah, have like roasted vegetable, all kinds of formats, super easy. I play around with my proteins. I have always different proteins. I switch it around from beef to chicken to turkey to eggs. Yes, I do plant-based meals. What I do, and this is maybe different than others, I cook my meals. Like I make in bulk, for example, 3 chicken breasts and two
Okay.
turkey breasts, and then I chop them up, and I know exactly it's 5 ounces. So whenever I have my lunch or my dinner, I take the container out and I measure my 4 ounces, and I'm good. But it's different meats, different vegetables, different, yeah, like fat sources, whatever. I play around. It's always something different, but it's measured. Mhm.
So what are some of the common misconceptions about bodybuilding and fitness that you've encountered throughout the years?
Oh yeah. Okay. First of all, number one, top number one, and then there's a long pause before something else comes. But women always believe when they lift heavy weights that they bulk up, that they get bulky. And I have so many, and I love my clients. Don't get me wrong, but we are fighting over the 5 pound dumbbells, and they don't want to lift heavier because don't want to get bulky. And then I always ask them, you have a little toddler at home. How heavy is the toddler? Well, 35 pounds. So, okay, do you lift him up or she? Yeah, I do. Well, you can lift toddle up with 35 pounds, but you don't want to lift more than 5 pounds at the gym. So trust me, you have to lift really heavy weights to put on muscle. And what a lot of misconception is, I talk about muscle health, not about muscle size. And
Okay.
that's
What's the difference? What's the difference between muscle health and muscle size?
mhm. So yeah, if you want, again, if you have health issues, high blood pressure, pre-diabetic, and I recommend resistance training, I want to train the muscle so we have a progressive increase of weight with good form and a challenge. But it's not that we are going to train for size. So, of course, the muscle will improve and get better, but the size, the bulkiness won't happen. You have to eat a lot of calories.
Okay.
You have to have it really timed well. You have to have the right amount of sleep and rest. Like there's so many factors what have to come together to actually bulk up and put on size. And you have to, I mean, spend a lot of time at a gym. The muscle health is if you move, if you use the muscle in a good way and challenge it so it stays healthy.
That's cool. Um, what inspired you to write your health book and your health and fitness book, and what can readers expect from it?
Yeah, that is a 52-week plan. And it's a fun book where a beginner can start. And every week we do an improvement in nutrition, in training, and in your lifestyle. And it has always a theme. So for 3 weeks, we will work, for example, on hydration. So every week we do something for that. And then the next 3 weeks, it's, for example, protein intake, or we have a walking challenge. So every week you have another thing to do.
Okay, awesome. Um, how do you like after all these years of working out and how do you stay motivated? How do you find it within yourself to focus on your fitness goals?
Mhm. Very good question. So, um, motivation. This is what I think. Motivation can only get you so far. It's discipline. It's the discipline. It's not the motivation. If if you count on motivation, you will fall off. You will not continue. It's the discipline. So, um, a simple question: do you brush your teeth
Every day.
every day? Do you put any emotions in, and do you think like, oh my gosh, now I have to brush my teeth?
No, I just like I don't like my breath stinking, so yeah,
You, you just do it, right? It's an
like
automatic thing, what you do in the morning, and you will never miss it. It's just what you do in the morning, and it's the same thing with working out. It's a habit I created, and everybody can do that. It's like brushing your teeth. That's what you do. You just do it, no emotion attached. And like I said, you don't have to spend hours at the gym. You can train at home, just do some movement. And if it's 20 minutes, it's 20 minutes. You want to start somewhere, and that's it.
that's good. Yeah. Um, what role does mindset play in achieving your fitness and health goals?
Yeah,
'Cause that's all part of discipline as well.
yeah, but it's huge. I think everything starts in the mind. And
Mhm.
it's interesting too. I don't know about you, but I meet so many people um, who talk themselves out of the best ideas, and they have so much potential, but they have all the reasons why they cannot do it. And
Sounds like everybody in life. Like even with me starting my podcast at first, used to talk myself out of it. Like, oh, who's gonna want to listen to me? I suck. I sound horrible. My voice sucks. I sound like Shrek. Whatever excuses I can make myself not to start the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I finally decided to face the fear and stop making excuses for myself and stop being like, you know what? Let me just do this. Let me just go record. What's the worst that can happen? No one listens to me. And so when I finally decided to do it, it was like this big weight was lifted off of me. Like, okay, I can do this. I am capable of coming and recording and
Mm-hmm.
creating content and creating a podcast. And it's the best thing for me. It's giving me my purpose. It's giving me something to go out. I enjoy doing this so much because I'm able to impact people's lives. Having someone like yourself come on and talk about your journey and your struggles and you and what you did to get to where you're at. Someone might need to hear that. Someone might be struggling with their weight, might be struggling with something, and hear you like, how do I how do I get there? And you talk about, well, I wanted a green card, and this is a way for me to get it. And you worked hard, and look at you now. You're the successful businesswoman. You're your amazing body that you sculpted to where you wanted to. So to be able to bring people on like yourself to share your stories, to me that's all I want is to be able to make an impact on person's life. If they can hear it and be like, man, okay, I can do this. I can go work out, or I can do
Yeah.
transform my life and and do it for the better part.
See, and I think you said it so beautifully. You have a gift, and this podcast is actually your responsibility to us to make it happen because you do it so well. So I think this is the key understanding that if we have a passion or a desire to do something, we everybody has fear. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
I have so many fears, but you know what? I do it anyway. I don't care. I just do it with my fear.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is what it is. You
You
know,
make you got to go make yourself uncomfortable. We're so
yes,
complacent right now that we're
yes,
just sometimes just so happy. We're just happy to be where we're at, and sometimes you just need to go and make yourself uncomfortable. You just need to step out of your comfort zone and do something that you normally wouldn't do. And that was me. That was me. I challenged myself. I said, like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Um, I didn't know I was gonna fall in love with it, and now here I am. I started a simple audio podcast to now I'm doing 3 live shows live on YouTube, and I released 230 my 239th audio episode this past week. So it's been a great 4 years to be able to come
amazing.
and
Yeah,
grow. Yeah.
it's amazing. And see, this is where it starts, you know. Um, you were brave enough to do the first step. And this is with everything. People like to talk about all the things they're going to do, but they never put it in action. And you put it in action. And this is the key of everything. And does it have to be perfect? No, absolutely not. You just start and it
Mhm.
develops and it grows and you get better and better and better at it. And here we are. Look at you now. I mean, like I said, I watched the intro and I'm like, oh my gosh.
And it didn't start off that way. I worked towards that. I've had already a couple of variations of intros, and when I first started, I didn't even have an intro.
See?
Didn't even have an intro. Didn't have outro. Nothing. It was just me coming on and talking. But the more I got into it, the more I learned. The more I sought knowledge. I looked at other people starting their podcast. Oh, they got an intro. Okay, so I need to get an intro. Oh, they got this, so I need to work on that and improve that. And that's what it was. It was me just learning and growing and developing, and just with each episode, just improving. My goal was to, with each episode, I'm going to improve. I'm going to get better at one thing that I wasn't so good at the previous episode, or whatever it was, whatever issues that I had, or if it was sound problems, let me work out the sound issues, or if it was a camera issue, whatever it was,
Yeah.
my goal the next episode was to make sure that wasn't the same mistake that I had to resolve this time
Yeah,
around.
and see, that's actually how I operate, and this is how I think you become successful in doing it over and over and over again until you master it. And again, like I said, it's patience. You just
Mhm.
gotta put the work in, and most of the time, people compare. Like, they want to do a podcast, for example, and they look at you and they're like, oh my gosh, I can never do what he does. This is, oh my God, way like too much work. And how he speaks in interviews and asks questions and all the setup. And oh my gosh, well, but you're at step 21 and they're at step one, or you're at
Mhm.
step 100. You can't compare a pro with
And
a
then yeah, and that's what a lot of people are like. Oh, what are you gonna be, the next Joe Rogan? I'm saying no, I'm gonna just be the next me.
beginner.
I'm just gonna be me, and
Yeah.
that's how I've always approached my podcast. Is I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna ask the questions I want to ask. I'm gonna interview the people I want to interview, um, and it just evolved. It evolved from me recording once a week and releasing audio to having a couple come on and they're like, "Do you do video?" And I'm like, "Oh, not yet. I wasn't ready." And before we even started that episode, I had started video because that I understood what they were talking about. They're like, "So you don't do video yet?" And I was using StreamYard. I'm
Mhm.
like, um, "Why am I not?" I'm thinking to myself, "Why am I not using video? I have StreamYard. I'm using it to record the audio part of it. Yes, I do video now." And so since that episode, I've just been doing video. And then a couple of years ago, I was like, I started appearing on a friend's show, and it was live. And the live part of it was so entertaining. Like with Corrado asking the question, it's entertaining to have the audience members be a part of the show because now it's their show as well. Like he had a pretty good question, and that it was a question that I didn't have on my list. So I was like, oh man, that's a good question. Let me ask that question. So now when I do the lives, it's like this is why I do the lives, those interactions, so that they can realize this is their show as well. Now, if they have a unique question they want to ask, as long as it's respectful, I will ask the question.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, this is the first one too that I had somebody ask a question. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun for everyone. It's fun for me. It's fun for the guests. It's fun for the audience members. So that's why I was like, yeah, I enjoy going live. Live for me, and you know what? It saves me on editing. Now I don't have to edit my video. I don't have to edit my audio because once I release it, it's out there. So it saves me on time.
Yeah.
Something that's very precious that you don't get back is time. So
No.
now I'm able to
And it's
do
authentic.
other things. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's truly who it's truly a great experience to be able to come on and have these wonderful conversations because you never know what someone's gonna answer.
No, that's true. That is true. Or what somebody is going to ask.
Yeah, 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 you're absolutely right. But thank you for being such a wonderful guest. Now is part of the show where you get the solo screen and you get to plug away. People get to you get to promote whatever you want to promote, your websites, book, everything.
Okay. So, yeah, you can find me at houseofshape.com or on Instagram at Health Coach Angela. And if you have any questions, just shoot me a message.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, very quick.
thank, thank you once again for being a guest. But don't leave just yet. I want to chat with you off the air a little bit. But thank you for being such a wonderful guest. I greatly appreciate you coming through, spending time, and access and answering some great questions. And you really continue to inspire the people, inspire the women out there to keep building their bodies and keep doing what you're doing. You're doing amazing work.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you. All right, another great episode in the books. Shout out to Corrado for another great question. Thank you, brother, for being there from day one. I appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate all the time you've dedicated to helping me improve my show. Shout out to my Real Wise fam, Poppy J, Brandy J, love you guys. Shout out to Mickey Delaney for stopping by us and asking how we both are. We're doing great, Mickey. Thank you for showing love. Shout out to the boss lady. Love you and appreciate you. And as always, a big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless you. Be safe. You know how your boy Wise does it. Peace out.